Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering June 14th to the 20th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these readings to be timeless, meaning you can come back anytime to receive guidance, support, and comfort. So, I keep feeling a lot of mental energy being expended. There's a lot happening with the planets right now. We've got multiple planets retrograde. We have the lunar eclipse tunnel that we're in. We're in the shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, and so the guidance that's been coming up lately has been pause and reflection, and we're really learning how to surrender to the will of all that is. Not that it has power over us, but being able to surrender. By being in that space of surrender, it opens you up to allowing and being receptive to guidance forward. Remember, we're here to co-create with the universe as a human on this planet, right? So we're having a human experiences, but we're here to consciously co-create with the divine and show the world what it looks like. So it's a very individual, unique experience for everyone. And this is why a lot of these readings are hitting people that are watching all different ways. Everybody's having different experiences in your life, but the messages are really hitting the heart. They're really hitting the energy of the physical being, right? That's the power of truth when it hits your heart. And I'm just seeing many people in the collective very much in the mental energy. So I decided that I want to speak to the inner child of the collective. So imagination, play, awe, wonder. There's guidance to, there's been guidance this week for clients to get back to coloring, baking, watching movies that are childlike, maybe Disney movies, or watching things that activate that inner child within. Play, laughter. Some of y'all got way too serious real fast. And so I feel like that childlike awe and wonder, that imaginative part of you wants to come out this week and play, right? While things are on pause because the planets are doing what they're doing, Earth people are doing what Earth people are doing. We're still in this place of seclusion and isolation for healing. Again, it's all good. At least for the next couple weeks, we're being called to be, right? So how can you activate that imagination? The imagination is the pathway to the intuition, right? So if you're lucky enough to have little people right now in your life, little children, getting down on the floor with them, asking them questions, being aware of their curiosity and their playfulness. If you've got pets, it's the same thing. Like, my dog has no problem, like, just pooping wherever he feels like, or marking his territory. It's so funny because I find myself saying, oh, don't do that, or oh no, you're not supposed to do that, and I'm thinking, like, he don't care, he's just living his life. And I'm like, wow, sometimes I need to break out of that the rules, right, the people-pleasing rules, and just be who I am. And so this is kind of what I'm learning now and having fun doing it. So I'm gonna start with the Oracle of the Unicorns cards to get an overall theme message for the week. And then I'm going to get a message from your inner child. What does your inner child need you to know? Then we're going to get additional messages from children's spirit animal cards, magical unicorn cards, and they're going to finish with magical messages from the fairies. Do you see the magical theme coming out, right? The magical energy is very feminine energy. And that energy has been suppressed for so long, right? The number 13, the 666, the moon energy, the shadow, this psychic intuition energy, that's all been demonized for eons. And that energy is awakening on this planet in the most loving, beautiful, powerful, kind way. So if you've been challenged with that, if you've been challenged with that, or that's the challenge this week, I pray that this guidance will soften the energy for you to be excited about life again, for you to really appreciate and savor the gifts and the treasures and the miracles that you're experiencing on a day-by-day basis. So let's begin. I'm going to open up space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, Mother Goddess, and all their holy beings of light who would like to assist with this guidance for you today and this week. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, the best and highest good of all concerned. Okay, some of you may poo-poo, that's the word, play. And some of you really need play. So maybe, we're here in New England, it's getting hot, maybe playing in a pool, playing in water, just play. How do you activate play this week? Because when you activate playful energy within you, it shifts the vibration around you. Rather than what can I do in the world, what action can I take? The question or inquiry question is like, how can I be joy? How can I be laughter? How can I be play? And that's going to require a level of you stepping out of the comfort zone of doing, making things happen, working, making money, all that stuff. It's fine and dandy and important, but yet sometimes we can get very bitter and resentful when we're not playing, or we're not we're not opening up to opportunities to express ourselves in creative and fun ways. All right, so overall theme, Oracle of Unicorns. What is the overall message for this week, June 14th to the 20th? Let's go with this one. And let's begin. Partnership. Oh, it says teamwork will give you a better result. Find trustworthy people to partner with. Build up a talented support team. All right, so this is speaking to those of you who are going it alone, who are, I don't have time to play because I have all these responsibilities and I have all these things that I have to do. Being open to asking the divine to bring partnerships, people who are divinely aligned with you into your life. So again, that feeling lonely or feeling alone or feeling in that mental energy could come from a place of being separate. Let me see. I'm also feeling the masculine and feminine energy here. In order to play, in order to allow yourself the freedom to play and dance and have fun, there needs to be a level of support and security. There needs to be a level of provide and protect. And that's your inner masculine energy, right? I work with my inner masculine energy when I sit down, I pay my bills, I create structure and order for myself. And when that is all taken care of, I truly have freedom to be in the present moment, to go with the flow, because I've set myself up for success, right? And so easy to get caught up with the doing, right? And fixing and saving and changing in the mental energy that we forget that there's this other part of us that's calling to be silly and goofy and playful. And some of y'all is just so serious. I, myself included, I can totally get caught up in that. All work, no play. And so it's interesting because the box on these cards say, enter an enchanted realm of magic and miracles. So let me get the box here. See this box here? I feel like this is the call to action. And that is going to be different for everybody. But enter an enchanted realm of magic and miracles this week. I think that's how you can counter, or I feel like that's how you can counter the intensity of all the planets shifting. And it's kind of like, I just keep hearing the message, stay out of it, stay out of it, stay out of it. So if you're feeling like you're getting sucked into things, take pause, be mindful of it, and pull out. If you do have people in your life, well, if you've gotten together with people and it's been fun, I was able to gather with friends the other day, and it just felt really nice to be out and laughing and being connected to people. I remember driving home and just saying, wow, that felt really good. I felt revitalized. I felt energized. I felt loved. I felt supported. And it was just very happy, and I just feel like it's just carried through this weekend of being able to have that energy. So sometimes it's not necessarily all the work you're doing on your own. This may be a call for some of you to connect with your support system, partner up with each other, right? The world is in pain. When I spoke to God about, all the things that are happening in the world and the challenges and all this activation of energy that's being released from people, I just said, God, what do I need to know about this? And he said, people are hurting. People are hurting, in need of healing. And that's all that matters. All people are hurting right now. God's people are hurting right now. And from that, something will transform from it. Something will grow from it. And I was like, well, okay, then what do I do? How can I help? That typical caregiver part of me wanting to serve. And he said, pray. Invite me in. Free will, right? So I've just been imagining my hands around the earth, and I've been just imagining love flowing through my crown chakra, through my third eye, my throat, into my heart, down my arms, into my hands, and just imagining that I'm sending healing light and energy to the earth. And in turn, I'm in that as well. So I'm also giving and receiving. And so I feel like that's your call this week when you're like, well, what do I do? How do I show up? All you have to do is accept and know that people are hurting. People are hurting. They're awakening as well. And if we can hold space for that vibration, it accelerates the growth on the planet, right? This is why a lot of earth angels feel like we're being held back. Like big things started to happen right before this global pandemic, and a lot of earth angels made really big changes in their life, big leaps of faith, and then boom, everything shut down. And so this is because the other vibrations have to really kind of, we have to all move together, right? We have to all grow and expand. So there's a lot of shadow work that's happening. So, and it can be intense, and it can be, it can squeeze us, and it can be painful, and it can be uncomfortable, but understand that that's the pathway to healing. This is why people don't do it, because it's uncomfortable, and who the heck wants to feel that way? But that is the true pathway to healing. So partner up with people, connect, open up to a support system, build up a talented support team, meaning when you feel supported by somebody, even these readings, just being able to say, God, more of this in my life or something even better, more support like this or something even better. Even if it's a book that feels incredibly supportive and speaks to you, and it's like, yes, this is me, I need this. If it's a podcaster or a YouTuber or somebody on social media that's really on a mission to speak truth, saying, God, more of that in my life or something even better. Now you're surrendering to the divine, bringing it to you, and you're calling it out and you're magnetizing it to you instead of that old way of doing something or being on the hunt and making it happen. That stuff is just going to burn you out, friends. So how do we open up to full surrender to receive partnership, receive divine support? And this is on so many levels. This is romantic partnership. This is friend partnership. This is family partnership. This is work partnership. We're not meant to go it alone. And here we are in the space of isolation, right? So we can be unique individuals, but we're more powerful together. All right, so let's speak to, what does your inner child need you to know? Your inner child saying, I don't want to be alone anymore. Partner up with me. What does your inner child need you to know? I feel like let's go with that one. Actually, you know what? I'd like to pull two from these. Give me another one. Here we go. Oh, there's nothing to fear, friends. Oh, partners, friends, right? Look at these loving little puppies. So there's nothing to fear. So maybe you've been feeling that. Maybe your inner child's like, I'm running for the hills. That's it. It's all over. Put me under the blanket. Take me out, your inner child. So your inner child needs you to soothe, comfort, and remind that part of you that's scared that there's nothing to fear. This is the activation, right? Being in partnership with all the parts of you, being able to parent that part of you that's starting to feel overwhelmed. When you start to feel overwhelmed, when you start to feel like you want to run away, when you want to hide and life is too big and it's too much and it's unknown, that inner child's going to be like, I don't like this. I want to run from the hills, right? And we can no longer continue saying, shut up, kid. We got this to do. We got work to do. We got to keep going. And you don't matter, right? We're learning how to emotionally support ourselves, support that inner child within. And it requires a level of recognizing it, feeling it, and taking pause and speaking to yourself more kindly. So your inner child needs soothing. It needs to be reminded that it's okay. And what a better way than to laugh and play and sing and dance. That's when kids feel the most safe, right? When you can be around giggly kids or playful kids, it really softens the heart. So maybe some of you have gotten caught too much up in fear, and your inner child's like just freaking out and just needs attention. And sometimes I just kind of put my hand on my heart and I rub my heart and I just kind of soothe myself. And sometimes I imagine myself crawling into Mother Mary's lap and just imagining her giving me this big loving hug, which releases the tears inside of me. So some of you may need to cry, some of you need to release, but really not in a way of judgment or shame or putting it on something, just allowing yourself to feel and experience and giving that part of you permission to let's say, let it all out. You guys have done some really big stuff. 2020 has been insane with the transformations that people are going through. So another additional is tell God and your angels how you feel. Yes, yes, yes. Partnership, right? You're not alone. So maybe some of you have been feeling alone. Maybe some of you have been feeling isolated, and God is reminding you to partner up, right? Reconnect with your spiritual team, with your spiritual energy. Again, this fear energy can certainly pull you away from feeling supported and connected and alive. And God's saying, come to me and your angels. Tell us how you feel. So prayer. Remember in the beginning I said, God, what do I do? And he said, pray. Come back to pray. From an open, loving heart, pray. Just open up, pray for all people, all of humanity. It doesn't matter, right or wrong, good or bad, positive, negative. People are hurting. And in order to grow and expand on the planet, we need comfort, we need support, we need to inspire, we need to love, right? But we've got to do that for ourselves first, right? To be the example. So God's saying, hey, you don't have to go it alone. Maybe some of you have forgotten, or maybe some of you will forget this week, maybe the intensity of it. So if you're anticipating, if you're anxious, or you're anticipating, drama, distraction, if you're anticipating, or maybe you've got a lot going on this week and you're anticipating stress, tell God, say, God, help me with this, open the doors. Archangel Raziel is the angel of time management. He's the angel of time warping. So call on Raziel this week. He's the rainbow angel. You'll know he's around. You'll see chakra colors, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You'll see rainbows around. I know here in Rhode Island, it's Pride Month, and here in Rhode Island, the State House is lit up in rainbow colors. So, we're seeing that everywhere. So we're activating this love, this spiritual pride. We're activating this energy of acceptance, this energy of oneness. And really, we are all mirror images of ourselves in some way. Everybody who comes into your life is a mirror image of you in some way. The ego doesn't want to see it. The ego wants to blame. The ego wants you to be the victim. The ego wants you to say, oh, they're the problems. But once you know that, once you can recognize recognize that, that's how you use the ego as a navigator, and you're like, I see it, I know it, there it is again. And then you can transform that energy to use it to revitalize your system and then create something for this. That's true empowerment with the ego. The ego is a navigator for you. It's a compass. It's showing you you're coming out of alignment with your divine truth. And if you can use it and be aware of it and be present with it and then talk to God and say, God, show me how to move forward. Show me what the next step is. I was challenged with something the other day, and I was just activated. I was just annoyed by something, and I'm like, that's not my truth. That's not me. And, I don't like it. And, so I was like, God, please just, just relieve this from me. And I really had to search why I was so aggravated by it, why I was so frustrated by it. And it was just feeling out of control. And it almost felt like somebody was speaking for me. And I'm like, that's not what I believe. That's not how I feel. Don't tell me, right? My inner wild child, my inner rebellion kicked in and saying, don't tell me what to do. So crazy as the fire trucks go by. And so really I gave it to God. I'm like, God, this is tough. Can you help me release this? And it's interesting because the next morning everything worked itself out. It was perfect. It was fine. And so that's how we can be present with experiences as we receive it, as we accept it. And then the intensity of my spiritual gifts, my intuition, my inner guidance, it just enhances tenfold. It's so powerful, friends. So we're learning how to befriend these parts within us. We're learning how to befriend the anger, the fear, the frustration, the ego. We're learning how to befriend it and actually utilizing it to empower us. So let's get into the children's spirit animal cards. What guidance does your inner child have for you this week? Additional guidance from your inner child to support you. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Take your time, turtle. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm seeing like the tortoise and the hare. Some of you are trying to skip steps on the spiritual journey. Oh, and it's so alluring. It's so easy, right? And so remember, you're building solid foundations. So as you grow spiritually, you have solid foundations, spiritual practices, traditions, routines. That's the healthy part of showing up to yourself. So take your time. Take your time with your spiritual journey, but also take your time this week. Give yourself plenty of time to get anywhere. If there's any part of you that's resisting, like maybe you have to go out or maybe you have to do something and it's just too much pressure and it's overwhelming and it's too much, that may be your intuition saying, hey, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't be on the road, or you know what? Maybe you should just stay inside, or you know what? Maybe you should just stay away from the computer today. If you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed and, activated, take your time with that. Feel it through your body and then just kind of pull back. It again, I feel it's a week of, I want to say isolation. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's a week of reflection. It's a week of, because you're never really alone. Isolation to me feels like alone, but you're not alone. The divine is working with you. So how can you call in laughter, play, joy, fun? I almost see some of you might be called to crafting. Take your time. So with crafting, it's like putting something together or making something and taking your time with it. Maybe some of you have mandala coloring books and colored pencils that you can use. How do you create love and beauty in your life this week? Take time with that. Slow and steady wins the race. If you find yourself rushing around or you find yourself with too much on your plate, that's the part of flow where you take pause and you say, okay, this is too much. What can I eliminate? What can I shift? What can I do tomorrow? Instead of trying to be the hero and get everything done, because it's just going to burn out your energy. So really, really mindful of how you're feeling this week, without judgment, without shame, without victimization, without blame. Just feel it and experience it, and then call in the divine to assist you with shifting it. Take your time on the spiritual journey. Some of you may be forced to go out. Maybe, there's a lot of places that are reopening and there's still a lot of restrictions. I know here in Rhode Island, we've been one of the restricted states. So take your time with what's right for you. So if you're feeling pressure to make a move, to take action, to open up, and it doesn't feel right or it's too much, just take your time with that. Unfortunately, the restrictions are very rigid still here in Rhode Island, and I'm not opening up my practice in my office for another few weeks, at least till after the 4th of July. The restrictions are still really tight and people are still really scared. And if I can't maintain a quality of service in the way that I feel aligned with, I'm just not going to do it. So, that's my part of I've got to take my time, and it's given me an opportunity to work with so many more people online. I'm working with people all over the country and in other parts of the world. It's just, this time has really given me the opportunity to expand my reach, and it's been beautiful, right? So, there's this part of me that wants to open back up my office, but then there's the other part of me that knows I need to take my time with it, that it needs to be right, and I have to be in full surrender and trust that God has a plan. All right, let me get into the magical unicorns. I've had quite a few of these decks. I don't think they're available anymore. I used to give these decks away, this deck specifically, all the time to young girls that would come in, and I knew they were divine feminine energies. I would give this card deck away, so I haven't used it in a while. So, additional messages. What else does your inner child need you to know this week? What does your inner child need you to know this week? Definitely yes. The answer to your question is a strong yes. So I feel like this will speak to your week. If there's any part of your intuition that says, maybe I should reschedule, maybe I should not do this, maybe I should do this, maybe I should reach out to this person. You know what? I've been thinking about, let me get to, it's a strong, definite yes. So as you're taking your time, soothing your inner child, talking to God, being open to support, it assists with that still small voice, that wise being of light within you to speak to you, to give you a call to action. Sometimes those call to action could be reaching out to somebody. It could be going outside. And it requires a level of being present. So this week, pay attention to that still small voice that may be calling you out, that might be saying, maybe I should, even with the clothes that you wear, being able to go into your wardrobe or being able to go into your drawers and saying, what do I feel like wearing today? What will light me up? I do that often. I always, I don't say it often, and that's just the way I put on clothes. So I will go stand in front of my wardrobe, turn on the light and say, what do I feel like today? I'm such a feeling person. What do I feel like? And you would have no idea when I was working in the office how many times I'd wear a shirt or a color and the client would come in with the same color, or it would be connected to an angel that I channeled that day or some guidance that I needed. So when you can feel your way through what's right for you, always trust that it's definite yes. So when you go stand in front of like your pantry or your refrigerator and saying, what do I feel like? See, you're taking your time with it instead of just rushing around, right? Mentalizing everything. I should, I need to, I have to. As you pull back from that and you listen to that voice within, if you're like, you know what? I think I've told you this story before. Like one time I just wanted tuna fish, just a can of tuna fish, 9:00 at night. Put it in a bowl with a little balsamic vinegar and olive oil, salt and pepper, and I ate the thing. I ate the thing right over my sink at 9:00 at night. That's what my body needed, right? But there's a part of me that's saying, oh, you shouldn't eat after 8 o'clock. You'll have crazy dreams, or all these shoulds. And I'm like, you know what? My body wanted that. So this week, pay attention to that intuition, that guidance, what you're feeling the pull to. It's not about right or wrong, good or bad. You get a check plus or a check minus or a positive or negative. It's about getting used to the experience or the feeling of what works for you and what doesn't. You know, I'll put on a shirt, I'll be walking around, I'll go outside and be like, this ain't right. I'll just go and change it, right? That's me being feminine. That's not me being fickle, or that's just saying, hey, you know what? It just doesn't feel right. I'm working on a project with a group of people, and you know, I was asked to review a video that was prepared for us, and the words were going the wrong way, and my eyes were hurting. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And I was like, can you change the words that are scrolling the other way? I'll tell you, friends, when I rewatched it again after he changed it, it was amazing. I'm like, this is great. This is brilliant. I don't know why. It just didn't intellectual. It was just like a feeling. I'm like, the words are wrong. That doesn't feel right. And so, you know, unfortunately, the feelings have been suppressed for so long. And so many of you need to activate those feelings. What feels right, what doesn't feel right. And your inner child is helping you with that, right? You're unpacking all the things that were suppressed as a child. This might be a work of inner child work. Maybe some of you can be guided to inner child meditations, or even the art of play, or imaginative, or if you have these decks, the unicorn decks, or I haven't even gotten to the fairy decks yet, but fairy decks, if you can access that part of you, maybe making, some of you are really talented and have fairy gardens in your house, not in your house, well, maybe in your house, but outside or in the woods, or maybe you go on a hike and you just ask the fairies to speak with you. You're now connecting to the unseen, to different dimensions, and it's powerful, it's beautiful, and I know it's already been calling you. So let's finish here with the magical messages from the fairies. You know, I snagged this deck, and something in me said, order these decks, and they're not available anymore. A lot of these decks are just unfortunately not being printed anymore, which is really sad because they're so powerful. You know, I still think that's still like the darkness wanting to suppress the feminine, and sometimes it still fires me up, like they're disempowering us. These oracle cards are so powerful and they're not being printed anymore, and you know, I'm just like, well, it's just giving an opportunity for more people to tap into creating their own decks, right? To expand the light. So, you know, like I said, I have my moments, but then I'm able to soothe myself and comfort myself through them. So, you know, if this is a message to some of you, if you're being guided to design decks and put them out there, here's your sign. Let's see here. I mean, I have mine. Listen, I'm saying here's your sign, and I've got my own that I'm still figuring it out. Copyrights and contracts and all that yummy goodness, right? All right, so magical messages from the fairies. What overall message do you have for the collective this week? What's the most important message they need to hear, see, feel, and know? There it is. Ooh, wow, this card popped up a couple times when I was shuffling earlier too. All of it. Healing, healed, healer. Healing energy surrounds you and the situation. Partnership, you're not alone. Call on the angels, take your time, be present with how you're feeling, listen to it. And this is the point. This is what we're working with this week. Some of you need healing. Some of you will feel the miracle of being healed. And some of you, the inner healer will be activated within you. And so this week, remember, like I said, there's a lot going on with the planets. So let me see, get this. How do I want these to look? There's a lot going on with the planets. You may have healing, feel healed, and be the healer all in an hour. All in a day this week. there's something, I'm feeling guided and drawn to the angel. Like this person is kneeling down and bowing down. The hands, if you can see, are open and receptive. Open and receptive. And you've got the angel. It's almost like the imposing wisdom, right? The heavens are opening up, and this person is interesting too. That the hand is over the heart, right, and is receiving energy. So this is a call for some of you. Some of you are in a space like, I can do it. I can handle it. I can make it happen. I can do another thing. I can keep going. And the universe is saying, let us help you. But you need to recognize it, right? And follow the guidance, because it's not going to be like this. It's not going to be somebody saying, this is what you should do. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's going to be something that comes from within. And we really have to start listening to that more than ever. I'm telling you, for the rest of the year, this level of intuition is being activated. I know there's a lot of people talking about it. And ways to access intuition, and everybody's going to access it in a different way. For me, my guidance was to the angels. If there was something I needed to do, say, be, or have, tell me twice. And then maybe a book would pop up twice. Somebody would tell me about it, and then it would pop up. I literally had somebody give me a book. I believe it was by Wayne Dyer. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't. It was about a doctor. Oh gosh, I forget the name of it. It was about a doctor who had this, experience spiritually and was awakened. And it was gifted to me in a church. I was speaking at a church one day. And then the next day, this was a Sunday, and then the Monday I had a client, a nurse, come in. And she said, she asked me if I had ever read that book. And I was like, there's my twice. I've got to read it. And I did. And it was exactly what I needed to see at the time. So when you're taking your time, you're fully present, you're paying attention to how the universe is trying to speak to you. The goddess speaks to you through nature. She sends the birds. She sends the blowing in the trees. She sends the animals. She sends the signs and the initials on license plates that needs to speak to you on the earth, right? It's the witness to the beauty and the beauty and the magic that's all around us, the gift of life, the gift of growth. And when you can be a witness to that, you're open to experience higher levels of light and love. So this is, again, another reason why we've been called to be present, to pause, to reflect. And it's not like, oh, I need to stop. Oh, I need to do this. Still, you're in your mental space. Some of you are still in your mental mind trying to mentalize all the things, and you're just burnt out. I do it often myself, so I can relate to how human we are, right? And it's a practice that we need to continue to show up. Like practice. I want to say practice makes perfect, but perfection is an illusion. So by practicing something, you become better at it. You become more unique. And this is true with knowledge and wisdom. If you study something long enough, it will transform. So if you study law of attraction and the way you start learning it and the way you're receiving it and learning about it a year or two later will be completely different. Education is so malleable. There's so many dimensions and levels into spirituality. So maybe you're being asked to upgrade. Maybe you know intuition a certain way, and the universe is saying, now you're mentalizing it. Why don't you break out of that box and experience intuition in another way, another dynamic, another vibration, right? A lot of times we think it has to be this way. This is what works for me. This is what I know. A lot of you are receiving information from people where it was a baseline for you to grow. And some of you may still be in that baseline. And this is why the challenge comes in, the unfulfillment, because, maybe you had this teacher that certainly you respected and honored and trusted and loved. And, but maybe you're feeling like, oh, there's got to be more. Explore that within yourself as opposed to, like I said, seeking it outside of yourself. There's so many healers that are coming out that are offering stability and support and encouraging people, being a beacon of light to to kind of shine a light on what they don't see, right? But it's the true pause, it's the true pathway to growth, is inner reflection, inner guidance. Gosh. All right, friends. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's it. Maybe some of you need to get your feet in the water. Receive some from the sun a little bit. All right. Let me close space by thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, Mother Goddess, and all beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today. The world of the enchanted, the fairies, the unicorns, the animals. And I want to ask that any healing that was started for you through this reading continue for as long as it needs to be done. In mind, body, spirit, and emotions, and always. All right, friends, so as I said, I'm still offering online sessions at least through July 4th, and we'll just kind of reevaluate after that. Unfortunately, I'm not available for past life regressions. Those are really the only thing that I have to do face-to-face. I have to do in the office. So thank you for those of you who are interested and are waiting for us to catch up, or the planet to catch up, so that I can open back up. And if you want to work with me, all my information is in the description box below, as well as all the cards that I've used. So be well, friends. Thank you so much for your likes, your subscribes, your shares, your positive energy. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.